We're at Laurel Hill Land Management out in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Gone on a trail that we've never tried before, and we're going to take you with us and see what we can find.
We're parked right here where my shadow's at on my finger. We're going to come down this trail, and then we're going to bushwhack up here to Finney, cross, and pick up that trail there and swing back around.
Now, how long you think that is?
I didn't check it. Should be, I don't know. Well, that's 3 miles walking that way in the road, so close to 4 maybe, somewhere around 4. I'm just guesstimating.
Okay. Well, let's get rocking. We're going to end up on that ridge over there. Okay.
Excellent tinder. This stuff does. You work it up.
Inner bark, what type of tree is that? Off of?
Let me think it's off of that. But it makes a good, really good tinder, you know.
Sweet.
You just work it down, rub it and work it down. We're looking over the Little Buffalo River there, and you can just make out the river through the trees. When we get to the end of the ridge that we're walking on, we'll go off a point and drop down to it. You can see the distant ridge over there to the southwest. I left Miss Molly around behind us. You can see her up there on the hill, or on the top of the ridge, which I'm not too far from her, 60 yards or so. But just wanted to stop and give you the view down off this ridge, down into the river valley, down in the Little Buffalo River Valley. You can't see a whole lot, but you see a whole lot more than you could in the summertime, I guarantee you that. All right, we're gonna get back on it. We dropped about 100 foot in elevation I guess. You can, okay. And I come over here just to get a little better view of the river. That's the Little Buffalo again. We see a little branch coming in down there. I'm not sure what branch that is or if it even has a name. And then you can see where it straightens out. Miss Molly and I, we have floated, I don't know how many miles of this river. We floated a lot of it, fished a lot of it, waded a lot of it. One of our favorite places to go around here, the Little Buffalo. But it is beautiful, beautiful country. We drop off probably another 100 foot or so down there into that where that branch is. Comes along the bottom of this hill right here. All right, Miss Molly, you ready to get going again?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go.
Okay.
He found some ice coming out of the ground. That's what he was taking pictures of. Let's see. Whoa. Get down here where I don't kill myself. Yeah, you can see the ice, how it curled when it came out. Down here some. Oh, check this one out. Isn't that cool? One mile down.
We're drawing closer to the river, dropping down in altitude, getting closer and closer to that river, the Little Buffalo. Beautiful. Clear water. All right, get back up here. All right, I'm standing on a, I don't know, 12-foot drop maybe higher, probably higher than 12 foot. And just wanted to come over here and get a video of this. Across the way is about level with, well, I'm a little bit higher than the camera. About there is about level with the camera. So that thing drops off at least 12 foot, probably maybe more. Like I said, this bank here, it might be closer to about 14 foot where I'm standing down to that little branch. But Miss Molly said, go through them briars and through that thicket, and I want a video of that. So this is just for you, Miss Molly, and anybody else that would be interested.
Looks like the trail crosses here, but he said that he thinks that we can go down across a point. We'll see.
Look at that.
Holy shoes!
Video right down the river on us.
We just had an 8-point buck come down the river on us, and I about dropped my phone trying to spin around, and I hit a button. I'm sorry, guys, I missed it. He came right in the middle of the creek here.
He went about 30 foot from us.
I know.
We're gonna walk that ridge over to the road now, well, we're gonna have to probably drop off into a holler. I don't know.
So we're gonna climb up this little
Got a little bit of a scramble
scramble.
up these rocks, around up on top of this point.
Just had to show you some pictures of that ice coming out. That is just awesome. It was like 35 degrees when we left the house.
Loose rocks and wood going that way. Probably have to switch this. Hold of that rascal boy.
Pricky bush. Good job, Miss Molly B. All right. Need some moleskin on it or something? No, it won't help.
Okay. And thus begins the bushwhacking, which we'll get up here to the top of this ridge. There's a valley on the other side. Miss Molly and I have walked that valley, I don't know, 6 or 8 times probably, looking for mushrooms and sheds and you know, deer antlers that have fallen off. We've never been on this side or down this horse trail that we was on. And all right, pretty much in the clear now as far as thick underbrush. You making it, Miss Molly? Whew. Got this old fat man huffing and puffing coming up that little ridge, or up that little point. Ah, that's a nice shot with the sun on the water. Lights it up.
How wore the old woman out?
I'm telling you. steel hoe up here. See him right there? Huh? Should be able to see him.
Armadillo up there, I can't hardly zoom in on him enough.
So you and I usually go up over here.
I can't see nothing for glare. Yeah, there we go.
We usually cut along this hill and come up this valley and walk it up and then walk the road back. That's where we usually we're up here on this ridge.
So where are we heading?
We're heading over to here, and then we're going to pick, you can't see it on here, it doesn't have it, we're going to walk a trail down to Mine Branch over here and walk it up.
Okay.
Come around to the left side of that tree.
This way?
Yes. You don't have such a big drop off. It's a little thicker, but I mean, that's up to you. I'd rather have the short drop rather than the twice the drop.
Oh,
Huh?
if my ankles give out, you'll see a tumbling weed idiot.
A tumbling weed idiot.
I'll do some more ice.
Yeah, well, that's in a little creek bottom.
Nice place to set up a little day camp.
Ah, it's a pretty ball. Since I got my water out of Mine Creek there, Mine Branch. I gotta let mine boil, come to a boil. Miss Molly just poured some water out of her water bottle in. We're gonna have us a cup of tea and a snack. It's 3 o'clock. Eat us a snack, and then we only got a couple miles from here out to the truck, and we'll be good. So we'll talk to you later. All right, we're sitting here on Mine Branch, one of Miss Molly and I's favorite hangouts, just for a quick, stop and rest, day camp, whatever you want to call it, which, we usually only stay about an hour or so. Today we didn't even bother setting up our hammocks. We just made us a cup of hot tea or a cup of hot cocoa. Miss Molly made cocoa for herself. I made a cup of hot tea for myself. And Miss Molly, she only drink cocoa or coffee, that's it. But this is a beautiful place down in here. And you've seen this before, we've showed you. And out there, on out that way downstream from here, about 7,500 yards, this runs into the Little Buffalo River, and it's a good fishing spot. Not that I like to give up my fishing spots, but anyway, just enjoying this beautiful day. 30, last I saw on the Weather Channel, on the top of the ridge when I had a signal, it was 35 degrees yet Fahrenheit. We're just enjoying it, just having a good time, enjoying our cup of tea before we got to go. Sunset today is at 5:05, I think, or 5:06. It's 3:19 now, and so we finish up our beverages and head on down the trail, which it's all uphill from here. We need to go up this little creek valley, Mine Branch Valley. It's a tight little valley, and run it all the way to the top. The hills, trucks up there, like I said, about 2 miles, something like that. So, alrighty. Well, we'll check back in with you later. along the trail. Go around a massively wet spot there. It's not quite frozen enough where you can just walk across on it. Ground, the ice is thawed just a little bit. Beautiful day. Molly's singing the Mr. Rogers theme song. Trying to just keep a nice, easy pace. I get carried away sometimes. Miss Molly's heel's hurting.
The old goat has good footing. Well,
Oh. Okay, I guess I just got a new trail name, Old Goat. She said the old goat has good footing, but Squirrel don't. That's her trail name, Squirrel. Because she talks to the squirrels. And she gets a little squirrely every now and then. Oh. Still Mine branch off to our left. I didn't want to cross it. It crosses. The trail crosses, I don't know, 2-3 times, and I didn't feel like crossing it. My shoes aren't waterproof, and the water is just deep enough to, you could get by, but I'd be up over my soles and mine. So this is where Miss Molly crossed in our last video. Right here. I crossed in that tree. I crossed that tree full of turkey tails over there.
Oh, I'm lost.
I don't know how you could be lost. You've been, how many times you've been down in here on this trail? On this side?
I don't know.
6 times, at least a half dozen times. So I don't know how you could be lost, but it's easy. You can get twisted around if you don't. Lord bless me with a good memory of topography and stuff like that. You know, the way the land lays and.
I got the joy of Parkinson's.
Parkinson's. You blame it on Parkinson's?
I blame everything on Parkinson's.
I can remember landmarks and the topography. You know, how the land looks. I guess you could say, the hills and the valleys and that type of thing. I can remember that stuff, but I have a hard time remembering people's names, and I have a hard time remembering numbers. All these apps are GPS in the trucks, and on my phone. I'm not using a GPS. I'm using an app called Samsung Workout. It'll map where you're walking, where you're hiking, and I like it. Keeps track of the miles by satellite, that type of thing. I like looking back on where we went. I just wish the map was a topographical map or a topo map. Topo map, people call them different things, but I wish it was a topo, but it's not, and that's fine. It is a beautiful day to get out. I've got on a long sleeve t-shirt, synthetic, and then I've got a short sleeve synthetic shirt underneath that. Since it is in the 30s, the temperature has dropped. My ears are starting to get cold, and my fingers. I had to pull my mittens up, put my gloves on, put my mittens down. For the past year, I guess, I've been wearing merino wool socks, and I really like them. We've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 pair apiece, I guess. Some to sleep in when we're camping, and some to hike in. Just a little tiny fall. Miss Molly's still bringing up the rear. She brought her water shoes in case she had to cross water. That's all right. Better safe than sorry. Because I'm too old and rickety to carry her across the river on my back. Yeah, you break the old goat's back. We was walking on a game trail and we was bushwhacking in between these 2 horse trails, and I don't know, they're for 150, 200 yards, and Molly said, "Well, we're really doing some bushwhacking." I said, "What do you mean? We're on a trail." And she said, "What?" And I said, "It's a game trail, but it wasn't much of one, but it was one." I said, "We'll hook up with that horse trail in just a bit." And we did. I didn't let her down today. I might tomorrow. I might later today, but I hadn't done it yet. Step over this log here. You gonna go first?
It don't matter.
You gonna go? You know where you are now? My fishing buddy, my hunting buddy, my backpacking buddy, my hiking buddy, my camping buddy. Miss Molly's, she's my friend. How long we been hiking in the woods, Miss Molly?
Since we first met.
Since we first met. How many years ago was that?
38 years ago.
38 years. Wow. One of the first dates I took her on, I took her squirrel hunting. She's a city girl. I grew up in the country. She said she didn't know she was supposed to squeeze only one of those triggers on that double barrel 12 gauge. She squeezed them both at the same time. But she killed the squirrel. Of course, with 2 barrels blasting away. And you know they don't fire at the exact same time. It's like you get like a bang bang out of it.
They just went floating down through the woods.
Yeah, just a little bit, like she said, a little bit of fur floating down through the woods. That was it. Wasn't hardly anything left of the squirrel. She was only about 30 foot from it when she cut loose. That's
3 miles completed.
We only walked 3 miles.
Duration 1 hour 28 minutes 22 seconds. Elevation 410 feet.
We only came up 100 foot from where we camped. I told you it was a nice gradual climb. But once we get up here, it kind of goes up then.
I looked up and this is what I came up into and stopped.
What is it?
Your dangerous trekking poles.
You can see the sun in that saddle right there. The horses really cut up the trail. And they really stomped down a pasture. They claim you can get away with 1 acre of pasture land for 1 horse, per horse, you know, per head. But honestly, an acre's not enough. They'll run it down more than they'll ever eat on it. Should have 2.5 at the minimum, I think. Miss Molly and I used to raise horses. And there's the hill. It doesn't look like much, but it'll take it out of 2 old fogies. It's pushing 60. Right, Miss Molly?
I ain't pushing no 60.
You are if you're behind me, pushing me. Alrighty. Well, bear with us as we go on up. It's not a high climb. I don't know what it is to the top. You know, everything's 100 yards with me. But it's probably 125 yards. Yeah, everything's the other day. It was the other day, and you know, but I'd say probably 125 yards to get out of the woods up to the top, and steeper than a 45 probably. Some of it's 45, some of it's a little steeper, maybe 50 degrees, but it's not terrible. Anyway, just getting the wind while we're sitting here talking. I'll be 60 in 2 more years, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I'm 58. I'll be 58 in July. Years ago, Molly and I lived in West Virginia. And one of my preacher friends called me and said there's a large fire burning. I can't remember the name of the community now. Pardon me while I stop here and breathe a little bit. But there were several hundred acres on fire in the summertime. And put it out. They had half a dozen fire departments come together. And we went up the side of the mountain, and it was mercy day. It was probably 60 degrees. It's pretty steep. And we was putting a fire out on a oil well line. Gas line, not oil, but gas line. There they run right on top of the ground because you can't bury them. And he said, you can tell we're saved because we're fighting a fire on top of this gas line. And we just laughed about it. He said later on, he said, I don't know where you got to. He says, man, I looked, and he said, you was running up that hill, that steep hill, and he said, I was lagging so far behind. He said, you was like a mountain goat going up that thing. You remember that?
Remember you telling me about it?
That's been years ago. But we couldn't breathe for about 3 days, man. We had smoke inhalation. Lungs were so bad, you know, full of smoke. Man, I just coughed and choked and hacked for about 3 or 4 days straight. There was a hawk. I didn't catch it. It lit in that tree. That's too far off to zoom in. But that was a long time ago. That was probably 20 years ago at least. At least 20 years ago.
Yep.
My Molly's making me look bad. Y'all see that? Oh, she just was getting a picture. Whew. It might be a little further than 125 yards up through here.
Probably another 100.
Workout resumed.
Probably another 125. It might be 150 total. But it is pretty steep. I mean, not like I said, it's not terrible. It's just, it'll wear on you. Wear on us anyways. When I was a kid, I'd have run up this thing. Wouldn't have bothered me at all. But now I'm an old man.
You blame that on everything.
Yep. It's because it is what it is.
That's your excuse for everything, honey.
Yep. Old, fat, and ugly. She's throwing sticks at me now. Oh. On my knee. Now I can blame it on my knee. What'd you stop for?
Because I'm old, fat, and ugly. Are we there yet?
Almost. I can see the top of the hill. About another 100 yards. I'm just kidding.
125 yards.
No, just kidding.
Workout paused.
Yeah. Grabbing Betty. My sister gets aggravated at me because I call my GPS Betty, and that's her name. I don't. Babbling Betty, griping Betty, barking Betty. Only my sister's not a barker, babbler, or grouchy about stuff. Oh, I got a good sister, a great sister, and a great brother.
Workout resumed.
And they're both older than me, so. Oh, good to be the baby. When you start getting old. I see Bob, big orange ball. Truck's still there.
Yeah.
That's always good. Well, 3.28 miles. So it's not as far as I thought.
3.28.
3.28. Let me get that way.
Okay.
Let's see, let's finish this. There's the course we took. See how it shows you your map. That's the trail we walked. Twice we bushwhacked just because we didn't want to cross water once, and there was no connector trail the second time, so we bushwhacked. It's 33 degrees right now, 33.7. Freezing's 32. I'm sweating coming up that hill. If you ever wondered why we carry these bandanas on our backpack, summer and winter, it's for this right here. The front one's for that. And the back one, the other one's for your nose. But
just don't get them mixed up.
Yeah, just don't mix it up. But hour and 36 minutes total hike time, which, you know, we took our time. We was taking pictures. Let's see. Let's see if I can get into my recent workout. 3.21. Averaged 2 miles an hour. We hit a max of 5.3. I don't know where that was because we didn't go that fast.
Was you rolling down a hill?
Maybe. Lowest elevation was 321 foot. The highest was only 537. Elevation gained 531 foot. Total ascent is, what is that, 8.4 miles, and total descent 0.99. So we went downhill more than we went uphill. That's pretty cool. All right, so anyway, thank you for hiking along with us today on here at Jeff and Molly Outdoors.
Making more
Yeah,
memories.
Making more memories.
Like,
But,
share, and subscribe.
like,
And click the notification button if you'd like to be with us on the next adventure.
that's it. That's sure enough it. All right. Listen, y'all have a good one. Lord bless you. And thank you again for everything. And see you on the trail.
Till next